Hello, welcome to Higher Ground Gaming. This is Eric. Today we're going to do an unboxing of Wingspan by Stonemaier Games, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, illustrated by Natalia Rojas, Ana Maria Martinez Jaramillo, and Beth Sobel. Beth Sobel, a very popular board game artist. So this is the first game designed by Elizabeth Hargrave. But an excellent game, very high on the Board Game Geek rankings. It's a game that comes with the Automa Factory, which you can play a solo version of the game, which is an excellent version. Plays 1 to 5 players, but we'll get into that, and we'll do this unboxing here. So, without further ado, let's unbox this baby. So, alright, let's look at the back of the box first. So this is Wingspan. It's a competitive bird collection engine building game for 1 to 5 players. You are bird enthusiasts, researchers and bird watchers, ornithologists and collectors, seeking to discover and attract the best birds to your aviary. Each bird extends a chain of powerful combinations in one of your habitat's actions. These habitats focus on several key aspects of growth. Gain food tokens via custom dice in a bird feeder dice tower, right there. Lay eggs using egg miniatures in a variety of colors, and draw from hundreds of unique bird cards and play them. And by hundreds, they mean 170 in the original game box. So the winner is the player with the most points accumulated from birds, bonus cards, end of round goals, eggs, catched food, which is basically food that you collect on the bird cards through special powers, and tucked birds, which certain birds give you like an ability to tuck behind the birds themselves, underneath the birds. So it's a game that's come out in 2019, and even though it's a fairly new game, it's had numerous printings already, so very, very, very popular game. Comes with game trays accessories, which is always nice. And also now includes a Swift Start Pack, which are 4 guides and 10 new cards to aid new players. So I just recently played this on last Saturday, so almost a week ago. A game that I had played originally in Tabletopia, I believe it was in Kickstarter. But I didn't end up backing it. But definitely a game I was checking out. But you can't back every game. But so this one kind of fell through the cracks for a while. But very, very popular in Board Game Geek. Very popular amongst board gamers. So we played it. We liked it. And the very next day we went to Barnes & Noble and picked up a version of it. So I'm very happy we did. We also ordered the European expansion, which we'll do another video for that unboxing. So anyway, so let's get to this one. So as you can see here, let's see what it says. It's 1 to 5 players, ages 10 and above. So about a medium weight game, I would say. 40 to 70 minutes. Probably our game. We played a 5-player game. Went probably longer than 70 minutes. I would say closer. We probably went closer to 2 hours, and that's just because we were all new at playing the game. We were fairly experienced board gamers, but just new to Wingspan. So yeah, so I would say definitely maybe once you've got it down, if all the players knew what they were doing, I'd still say probably 80 to 90 minutes maybe. But I guess it could if you were really playing fast and you had nobody that has AP, then you could do 70 minutes. The solo play game, I can see maybe around 40 to 50 minutes. So, but anyway, let's see what's inside the box. All right. So it looks like on the outside of the box here, it gives a little, I can't quite see it, but how to put together the bird feeder there, which serves as a dice tower. So, all right, see what we got here. So we got a little Cricky, a Play Wingspan inspired game that in augmented reality. Now available on the Cricky app. So scan this code with your mobile phone camera. And then here, it looks like a digital edition of Wingspan on Steam, which is a 30% code for that. So 30% off the digital edition. So I'll have to check that out. Again, I did play it on Tabletopia, but I'll have to check this out on Steam too. Alright, so there you go. So these are very cool. Wow, I didn't actually get to feel the rule books in the other one, and it's kind of like a fabric type rule book here. So it's got a fabric type feel on it, which is nice, but very nice touch to it. So the table of contents is going to include your quick reference, which is always good to have at the beginning. Appendix. Oh, this is the appendix, sorry. Let's go with this one first. So let's go with the, this is the rule book. So it looks like you got a rule book, an appendix, and then the Automa book for the solo version. So here we go. This has got all the components list here. And the objective of the game. And here's the setup of the game. Looks like it's set up for a 3-player game. And then here's your bird card, and basically everything you need to know on the card. So you go name of the bird here. Whoops. Name of the bird here. The type of habitat that you can put it in. The type of food you need in order to play the bird. Your victory points here, the feather. Type of nest it uses. The eggs. How many eggs you can put on it. And then it gives a picture of the bird. And oh, actually it's looks like it's wingspan, because the game is Wingspan, so it's got a 41 centimeter wingspan for this particular bird. And then it's got some, a special power. And this is a when activated power. There are other powers on them, but this is something that activates every time you play the habitat that it's in. Once you play the bird, it's in. You get special power. This one is to gain one. Looks like it's a worm. I would say it's a worm from the supply. And then a little flavor text and kind of showing the region it comes from, and kind of little characteristics about the bird. Alright, so you have your overview of the game, turn structure, round structure, and game engine scoring. Again, the bird, this is a scorecard for the end of the game. But anyway, yeah, this very nice feel to the rule book here. So it looks like it's invertebrate. It's not a worm, it's an invertebrate. Okay. So then you have seed, fish, fruit, such as basic fruit, and a rodent, not a mice. So those are the official names for the more general terms for each of the food types. And then you have a wild food type too, which they can eat just about anything. Then you have your 3 basic habitats, which you have your forest, your grasslands, and wetland. And we'll show you that a little bit more when we go on the player board. So you have your 4 actions. Option 1 is to play a bird from your hand, which is that little purple symbol there, looks like. And then option 2 is to gain food and activate forest bird powers. So you have your forest birds up top here. So the more birds you lay down, and the more more food you can take, and the more it shows you the different powers of the actions. Then you have a bird, and then you have managing bird feeder, managing food tokens, and then you have your is this the Brody there scratching himself? Option 3 is lay eggs and activate grassland bird powers. So that's your 3rd power there. So in the grassland one, and I'll show you that on the player board when we get those out. So you can lay eggs on that one. And then option 4 is to draw bird cards and activate the wetland bird powers, which is the bottom part of the board there. Alright, so then you have your different bird powers here. So you have different birds that have when activated powers. Some of them have a once between turns power. And then I think there's another one. Didn't say it, but there's another one that says when. Oh, here it is, right here. When played. This is a when played bird power. Right there it is, right there. When played. And then here you have your end around scoring and everything. That's your objective track. You have an easier side to the track. A harder side, actually, that's whoever has the most. So there's 4 rounds, whoever has the most. You know, I think it's first, depending upon how many players are playing, you have first, second, third, potentially points for those. And then this is the easier one where you just score how many points for every objective that you know, how many of each objective you have. So there's no like first, second, or third. You just score that many points. So that's the easier side there. And you have your bonus cards here, and then the credits in the back. So that's a nice 12-page rule book. Does not look that difficult. And you have your appendix here, which is also 12 pages. And this is going to show us some other things. This is going to show you it's a quick reference guide, your end of round goals. So yeah, it looks like you have six goals here. And so it looks like, I think there's actually more than that. I think it's, because I'm pretty sure there's 8 total goals in it. So there's probably more of them other than this. I only see 6 of them listed there. And you have your bonus cards, some name-related bonuses. So that might be the extra ones there. And you have your nest and egg-related bonuses. So these are for the birds themselves. What each... No, actually, no. I'm sorry. These right here are name-related bonuses. So you have photographer, anatomist, cartographer, historian, and then here you have the different types of birds. You have, yeah, so these are for on the bird cards themselves right here, these ones. So you have your different of birds here. So, I mean, different types of birds, different, and then some of them share similar powers and everything on them. Habitat-related bonuses, other bonuses, food gaining powers. So some of them allow you to get extra food, and then food from the supply. When activated, you gain certain foods, and then more bird powers, egg-laying powers, and then card drawing powers. Some of them allow you to draw extra cards. Fly powers, hunting and fishing powers, etc. Some are predators, stuff like that. And then finally, some miscellaneous other powers here. Alright, so that's the appendix with basically all the bird powers in. And then you have your Automa. Just show you, you get an Automa deck. And it plays the cards that the solo, the AI will play. So, it looks like it's what to do in the Automa setup, what to do in the Automa's turn, and then your turn, what you do in your turn, and then the difficulty levels you can play with the Automa. So a lot of Stonemaier games have this Automa thing too, I noticed. And then here, it looks like you have your bird feeder here. So you're going to put this together. So there's birdhouse tower, which is your dice tower, and then there's more of the pieces for how to assemble it. So at the end of the video, I'll probably show you what an assembled birdhouse looks like. Let's see what else is inside here. This is the objective tracker here. So you have 4 rounds, and then this is the one for the most. So you have first, second, and third place. Some third places you don't get any. But it looks like as you go on towards the end, it looks like they're worth a little bit more towards the end there. This is the side. And then this side right here, it's just how many you have of each of the bonuses that you're going to put. And these are random, randomly selected at the beginning of the game. So it looks like you get a max of 5 and a minimum of 0. Okay. And here are your nice chunky die for your, see if I remember this here, your invertebrates, your fruits, I already forgot these. They're not wheat, but grains, I guess, or something. Can't remember, but anyway, you start in the beginning of the video. Your invertebrates and your grain type thing, and then your fish, and your rodents. I remember that one. So you get 5 die like that, which you roll. And it's got a really cool mechanism in this game where you basically, once the die are down to just one type, like say if there's 3 fish left, when there's only one of the type of food left, you have an option to re-roll all the die, whether there's 1, 2, or 3 left. So if you rolled all 5, just say all 5 invertebrates there, you could re-roll them. Or if you had somebody took a 1 and then you were left with 4 fish or something like that, then you could re-roll the die, which is kind of a neat thing. Here is just simply the 5 colors of your action cubes. So it looks like you get 8 actions to start with in the first round, and then each round it's going to get 1 less because you have to take one of these action cubes and place it on the objective on these cards here to score. So each round you're going to get 1 less action. So it goes 8, 7, 6, and then 5 in the last action, which is kind of stinks anyway of getting less actions as you go on, but probably tightens up the game, and I'm sure they did it for balancing issues amongst other things. So it looks like you get 5 different colors here. You get your light green, yellow, light blue, red, and purple. And then here you have your different colors of your eggs. Oops. So you have your green eggs. I'll just take one of these out just to show you. But they're nice. They're nice quality. They're flat on the bottom, so they'll stand up. Yeah, so these are your. They kind of look like little chocolate Easter eggs. They kind of remind me of that. The ones that come around Easter. And then you have your white color there. You have your tannish, I guess, here. You have your light pink. And you kind of have your, I guess you call it like a turquoise type color. And that's one thing, we did run out of eggs when we were playing the 5-player towards the end, because we had a couple players that were going for tons of eggs. So we just substituted, I think, pennies towards the end. But I did get the European expansion, which does add purple eggs to it, so we'll should have plenty of eggs there, so that should not be a problem. And looks like you have a couple extra bags here. You have a set of 4 of these right here, which are nice for the tokens to put in. Freezing up for a second. Let's get the nice Stonemaier logo on it, and there's 4 of these. So I dropped a couple of them on the ground. So 4 of these. And then let's get into the decks here. So I'll undo this and show you that. Actually, I won't show you the birds yet. So it looks like you get 3 packs of birds. And then you have a set of objective cards. Oh yeah, this right here is the what do you call it? The game trays. So kind of neat. So all the cards will go in here, and then you can set up your 3 cards that are 3 cards are available to pick from always. So you're gonna put these on here, and then put these in front of the. Put this in front here. So there you go. And then when you're done with the game, you just put all the birds in there and close it up. I suppose you could put the objective cards in there too, if you wanted to. The objective cards. So you'll get private objectives too. You're going to go for. So there's public ones here, and then you'll get. I think you'll get a choice of 2 to start with, and then you pick one, and discard the other, and then. You'll get some birds let you draw extra objective cards during the course of the game. Alright, so that is the game trays thing. And then you have your little score pad here. So this is for multiplayer. Basically 2, 3, 4, and 5 players. So it looks like you score. So the amount on cards, you score for your birds, your bonus cards, and end of round goals. And then you have your 1 point each is for the eggs. Food on the cards, so birds can catch cards on them, so they have that ability, and some have the ability to tuck birds underneath them, kind of predator birds and things like that, I guess. And then on the back is the Automa, of the solo version, so it scores the same thing for the player, and then certain things will get scored Probably a little bit more for the automa, and then something the automa doesn't do, like you don't put birds on cards or tuck birds underneath, that kind of stuff. All right, so there is a chunky pad of those. And let's see here. So here's the automa Swift Start pack here, I guess you call it. And this has the set of 10 birds in here. So I guess we can go over that. And then you have your little player aid here, which basically goes over, it plays a turn through for you. So each player here, so what you do on your turn is basically, play the birds, lay eggs, play the American Red Start in your forest. So it allows, I guess you have to play a specific bird in this one, and then gain food and turn 5 and beyond. So basically, it goes over the first. So it looks like it scripts out the first 5 turns. That's what it does. So it kind of gets you used to the game. And let's see what's inside. See what's inside this Swift Start pack. Actually, I'm not going to open this one right now because I don't know how often I'm going to use it. Because we didn't use it when we played last Saturday, so most of us picked up the game fairly easily. But I guess if you have new players, you can use this. So, just a pack of the birds for that. But it's a nice little added treat, so I guess people must have asked for it, so it's nice of Stonemaier to put it in. And another bag, it looks like right here. And these look like really nice player boards. So, when I played the player boards in the version I played, it was a new version too, I thought. He said he picked it up at Barnes & Noble, but I don't remember the, I guess they could have been, but I don't remember the player boards being folded like this. I remember them as just being kind of like placemats if you go to like a restaurant, they put them in with advertising on them. They kind of look about that size. But these appear to be bigger. And I don't remember them folding. I guess they could have, but I just don't remember them being this nice. So it could have been a different version of the game. It's had various printings already, so they've probably done some improvements in just a short time it's been out. But again, this is it basically gives, let me show you here. So this is a player board. So up top here, and you can see it, but up there it says play a bird, so that's one of your actions there. And play bird will either be free on the first row, and then it'll cost you eggs in order to play birds. The more birds you play, the more eggs they're going to cost to place them. And then here you have, so this is the mountain area, mountain habitat, and then in here, this is where you get food resources. So if you want to get food, you would, originally if you didn't have any birds on here, you get to choose one of the die from the feeder. Here, you can choose one of the die from the feeder, and also if you want to get rid of one of the birds from your hand, you can get an extra die. This just allows you to get, so they get more powerful, the die food taking actions as you go. Because they're going to get more powerful the more birds you play on here. So you can play up to 5 birds in each habitat. And then here's lay eggs, so you're going to lay eggs. If you take this action, you get 2 eggs. Here you're going to get 2 eggs, and if you discard it stands for like a food token, if anything. You get an extra egg. This is just 3, and so forth. So you get more powerful. And then at the end here, if you covered all 5 birds, they're real powerful actions here. And then these are draw bird cards. So this is in the wetlands area. And iconography is very good on these cards too, and on the birds. And it shows you different things. These allow you to take extra bird cards and everything. So there you go. So these are the player boards. So there's 5 of these. All the same, no different, but they're nice quality. Definitely impressed with those. And again, I'm not sure if they're the ones in the original game, in the game that I played. They might be the same, or I just might not have noticed it. But I'm almost positive that they weren't as good quality. All right, here are your food tokens. Here looks like I think there's 21 of each of the food tokens, except for the bottom one here. It looks like there's 19 of just the fruit there, but 21 of everything else. Maybe the fruit doesn't get used quite as often, maybe. And then here, these are your objective tiles here. So I think they're different on both sides. So it looks like you have 8. So it looks like 16 different objectives. And then here are the food tokens. It's a thickness, a decent thickness, not bad. And these you can upgrade these right here. You can I know there's tons of Meeple Source and game, different Meeple Realty and all the different things. They sell upgrades. Even BGG I think may possibly. I'm not sure on that one, but well, maybe not in BGG. But anyway, not yet anyway. But you can upgrade these to get like wooden tokens. Plastic, things like that. Pretty much like in standard upgrades for tokens. And here's your first player token there. Bird that's on the cover. So that's it. That's all the there is for punch outs. Yes, so not many punch outs. So the heart of the game is definitely on the cards. So we'll go over the bird cards here first. Actually, we'll go over the bird cards since I opened that. So here is just the standard playing card size. That's what the back of them look like. So, and then here, we'll just flip through each one of the birds. I'm not going to go through each bird, but I'll just show you each bird though. So this is the mountain chickadee. It gives probably its Latin name or whatever it is, a phylum name or whatever it is called. Its scientific name for the species. It gives the bird itself. Again, how many victory points, what kind of nest, how many birds, how many eggs you can lay on it. 3 maximum on this one. It's Wingspan right here. Thus the name Wingspan. And there are certain gameplay elements when this comes in handy. Like you can draw birds, and if they're under a certain amount of centimeters, then you can tuck them underneath your other birds and so forth. And then here's the one activated action. So if you play this bird first, you can activate this every time you activate that row. And then a little flavor text here which shows you these are all going to be, I think, North American birds. So they're all be North America there, United States. And then it gives a little blurb about the bird. This bird is, mountain chickadees are generally found in the something forest, conifer forests of the American West. So it kind of gives you where they're at and a little bit about them. So we'll go through this one. So these are, it's a white-breasted nutwatch. And the bird names, there's certain goals, like sometimes you have to catch all the birds that have a certain color, that have a color in their name. So that's pretty cool. Carolina chickadee. So I'm just going to show you each one of these. So very nice artwork and everything. There's the blue jay, pretty common bird. Oh, and up top here I didn't show you, but that's the habitat, and then that's the food that's required to play it. So this bird needs 2 of the wheat, or I can't remember the name of it, grain I guess it's called. 2 grains and and 1 of anything. So you have to. So some of them are more expensive. This bird right here you can put in all 3 habitats, so it gives you a little more flexibility. So the harder the bird is to place, generally the more victory points, or the more food you need for it, the more victory points it's worth. So this one's fairly easy to place, only worth 1 victory point though. This is like a duck bird kind of thing. Shoveler. Spotted sandpiper, so forth. So if you want to look at the bird, I think this is the one that's on the cover. So the scissor-tailed flycatcher. But if you want to stop, you can look at each one of these birds if you want to. Hopefully it's in focus enough to read. Hummingbird, very beautiful bird there. If I see anything interesting, I'll This is the mallard, like a duck. A lot of ducks here. So a lot of these are going to be water birds, of course. Woodpecker. Pileated woodpecker. These look like they all have wind activated cards on it. California quail. Here you go, Baltimore Oriole. American crow. Very cool. So it's very educational. You can learn about different types of birds. Start spotting different types of birds you see in nature. That's a nice, pretty blue bird there. We'll definitely be sleeving these birds here. These cards. I think that's... yeah, I think that was it. That's where I started. Alright, so there's one deck there. And then we'll go into another deck. I'll make sure it's still running here because it did freeze up on me before. I was getting ready to do these videos. Alright, so here's another deck. So it starts with a northern mockingbird. You know, a lot of these birds, lots of food. And then this means or, because this means you can do either this, the invertebrate, or the grain, or the fruit. So it gives you a little more flexibility, but it's not worth any points. But it is easy to place, and it gives you, this one gives you the ability, if it's to the right of any of the bird, you can change it and put it into another habitat. So it's it's a very flexible bird. But again, not worth any victory points at the end. But easy to place. That's a pretty bird. Different types of nests you can see too. So that one's worth a whole 7 points there. But again, you need all three of those. Two of the invertebrates and the rodents, and then one of anything. So it's expensive to place. You can't put many eggs on it either. I'm not sure exactly the bird they started off with, but some owls here, hawks, so some predator birds. This one's any birds underneath a certain wingspan, it catches, so basically kind of mimics it like a prey bird. And this one catches a little bit bigger birds, so it's got 100 centimeters, so a falcon. Same thing with the eagle and the horned owl. So these are all the predator birds here. Some of them. This one catches fish. The owl here. The owl, very nice. Barn owl. Burrowing owl, Canada goose, pelican, that might have been what I started with. No, I think I already moved with that one. Maybe not. Go a few more. Coot, American robin, house finch, Yeah, very nice artwork on these. These are all, looks like they have one activated stuff on. Gotta be close probably to the end of it, I would think. I think that might have been one. Northern Mockingbird, possibly. Yeah, I think I might start with this one. Alright, so that's deck number 2. So there's one other deck. And again, if you want to fast forward through these to the end, so you can do that, or just pass the birds. But after this, we're going to show the personal objective cards, which has some very cool information on it, which I like, being a math guy. Which you probably guessed it already, huh? So my nails are not very long, so I always have issues with taking off this. There we go. Alright, so start with the bronze cowbird. I think I'll remember the cowbird there. So, okay, now these right here have once between turns. So when another player, when another player takes lay eggs action, this bird lays one egg on another bird with looks like a certain bowl nest, looks like. So this one, so if you're playing with 5 players and you have four players in between, your turns, you can only activate this once, even though more than one person may play it, but still, you get to take it once between turns, so these could be very powerful if you have a bunch of these. So black vulture, so it's a predator bird, so once player's predator action succeeds, you gain 1 food from the bird feeder, so again, once between turns. And this one here is just simply you get 8 points for the wild turkey. Yeah, no special powers on anything, but lots of eggs you can put on it, and lots of victory points. But it's very expensive to lay too. To activate. Again, these are some very powerful birds that do not have any other. 9 points for this one. Wow. But you can only put 2 eggs on it. So yeah, no other powers on it. So the ones that have the very, this one's a when played power. So this one is, as soon as you play it, you get this. You get to draw a card from deck equal to the number of players plus 1. So if you had a 5-player game, you could deal 6 cards from, wow, so this could become very powerful. Starting with you and proceeding clockwise, each player selects one of those cards and places it in their hand. So this allows other players to get stuff too. So a lot of times these actions are not just you get the action, but other players will get it too. See, this is one play, you draw 2 cards, but it's only worth 1 point. But you can put a lot of eggs on this one. That's kind of interesting, tall bird. But yeah, these are all when played actions. Now, as you get 3 fish from the supply or 3 grain from the supply, so. But again, they don't give you any actions once you get that, though. But they're kind of good to play maybe towards the beginning of the game when you need to get stuff. But once you play a bird on your player board, it's there to stay for the most part. Again, it could move if you have one of those birds with a certain action that allows you to move it, but to another habitat. But pretty much it's stuck there. So you gotta be careful on what birds you play. So puffin, this one requires 3 birds. 3 fish, but it gives you 8 victory points. California condor, and we're doing a report on these in grades in I think middle school. I think we're just about done these. So lots and lots of cards. Oh, it froze up for a second there. But definitely, these are all like the North American birds. And that's where we started with the bronze cardboard. So 3 decks of cards. And finally, one last thing, we have the objective cards, and then we'll pause the video and make our bird feeder, our Dice Tower bird feeder, and show you that. So alright, so these look like the Automa cards, I think, I'll put those, so I'll show you. So there's basically, I think, they're more than 3? Yeah, probably more than 3, but anyway, here's some of the Automa cards anyway. So it tells you what round to play them in. So I think what you got here is you get your, tells you what round to play them in and everything. But these are for the Automa, and they'll take certain actions here, depending upon what these are. And these have opposite sides to them too. So there's at least 4 cards there for Automa. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, so these right here look like they're all, no, they're not all the same. Oh, looks like you get some more Automa cards in here maybe. Yeah, here's some more Automa cards. So those are probably according to the number of players, and well, maybe not. That could be a scoring thing for Automas maybe. But here's some more Automa cards. I think. Yeah, these look like they're all for the Automa. So we get used in the Automa game. So we'll put all those aside. And then here, yeah, these are all in-game goals. And what I like about these right here is you're going to get 2 of these at the beginning of the game, and you'll get to keep 1. What's cool about these is it kind of shows you, you can see here, kind of gives you a percentage, which I really like being a math guy. So it says, so birds with this certain type of nest here. So if you get 4 to 5 of these birds, you get 4 points at the end of the game. 6 plus birds, which is tough to do, you get 7 points. And the birds must have a that type of nest or star, which is a wild nest symbol. But 31% of these cards, so basically roughly 1/3 of these cards have it. So this might not be a bad one to try to get, because 1/3 is pretty high percentage. So this one, okay, here's the photography. I think I went over this before. So 34% of the birds with colors in their names, and it shows you all the different colors that are available. So but roughly again 1/3. This one's harder to get, but they're worth 2 per bird. But only 16% of the birds have that eat. I think I had this one in the game I played. They can eat. They basically eat anything. So they have a wild token next to what they eat. But you get 2. And I think I did fairly well in this. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I think I only got like 3 birds. And again, we played a 5-player game, so I was only able to get 3 of those birds. So there's more competition, more players you have too. So it's omnivore. So bird feeder, birds that eat grains. So you get 5 to 7 birds, you get 3, and 8 birds, you get 7. So again, almost half the birds eat grains. So fairly easy to get, but you have to get. So that's why you have to get more of them. Only 11% of this one, birds named after a person. You get 2 per bird. Any bird with apostrophe S in its name. And you have zoologist birds with at least 1 egg laid on them. So not percentages for this one, obviously. It's just how many. You have to make sure you put eggs on the birds in order to score for this one. This one, birds with certain type of nest, like a stick nest kind of thing. Also uses the wild symbol. Geography in their names, American, Atlantic, Baltimore, Northern, Prairie, Savannah, etc. Shows you all the different ones that score in it. So this one's a little easier to get, but only 21% of the birds have this. But you have to get 2 to 3 birds to get 3 points in. But if you can get those 4 birds, so big difference here. If you can get 4 plus birds, you can get 7 points. So if you can get that 4th bird, but again, it's only 1/5 of the birds have that. So those birds may not come out. So yeah, that's what I thought here. Birds that eat the fruit, there's only 22% of those birds, so there's less food tokens in the game. So any bird with a fruit token, fruit symbol, the birds may also eat other kinds of food, but they have to have at least that symbol in it. So yeah, I'll just show you some of these other ones. This one's only 9%. Birds that eat only invertebrates, so 2 per bird there. but only 9%, so that's really tough to get. So yeah, just some different ones in here. This is when you put eggs on them. Birds that have at least 4 eggs laid on them. So there's not too many birds that have 4 plus, well, 28%. But you have to fill basically their capacity or get close to their capacity. So birds with a predator power on them, 13% of that. Wingspans of over 65, only 35% of that. Birds that eat fish. Bird cards in hand, so these are the ones you keep in your hand without laying them. So if you draw a lot of bird cards, you can get 8 more bird cards in your hand, you get 7 points. Birds that live only in the prairie land. Only in the prairie lands means you can only have that symbol. So the ones that can live in all 3 don't count. So yeah, so here we go. So we're almost done here. The video's kind of getting long here, so I'm going to try to wrap it up soon. Birds that eat just mice. Just 15% of that. And birds in your habitat with the fewest birds. So if you have 3 habitats, the one that... So this one, the majority you could score here. If you have 5 birds in each habitat, the majority you could score with this would be 8 points. So... Or if you had all... Actually, I guess if you managed to fill your board, which is hard to do, but possible, I guess, you would get up to 10 points there if each habitat had 5 birds in it. When you live in the water, birds with these type of nests. Body parts in their names like beak, back, belly, breast, cap, chin, collar, wing, throat, etc. And then birds with less worth. I think I had this one too, because you can get extra ones during the game too. I think I had this one too. Birds with worth less than 4 points. I think I managed to get all 7 in this one, I think. So that was kind of cool. So it doubles it. If you have 6 birds, it's only worth 3, but if you have 7, it doubles it pretty much so. Which I'm pretty sure I had that. Yeah, so these are just a stack of personal gold cards. And that is it. So definitely a lot to it. So I'm going to break here, and I'll show you what the bird feeder dice tower looks like when it's the birdhouse dice tower. So I'll be right back with that.